What is that? Okay, let's see what is cooking around the world. Well, today is the only day that we kind of go over the top news, what we think is the top financial, whatever they talk about the week. So I could also stay up to date. So the market is kind of acting weird, especially with the Trump China visit and the passing of the Clarity Act and stemming down. Jerome Powell who stepped down officially today, I think. With all of that, the market actually kind of ruined a lot of people today. I'm glad I was kind of sleeping. So let's go over a few and we will have fun. Not sure what would be the best news. Okay, let's see. Well, Myanmar. Some news about Myanmar. Um, I guess they're going to impose target the anybody who's found to who's done a crypto scam, kind of like a death penalty or something like that. So harsh punishment. Okay, who stole that from them? Who stole from them? Well, Myanmar is a South Asian country. If you don't know, that's where they're located at. And Myanmar's military-backed government introduced a sweeping anti-online scam bill on May 14th. Today is the 15th, so yesterday. That proposes some of the harshest anti-crypto fraud penalties seen in the region so far. The legislation includes the death penalty for operating operators who use violence, torture, or unlawful detention, or coercion to force individuals into participating in online scam operations. Myanmar proposed the death penalty for major cyber scam offenses. This comes after authorities escalate their crackdown on online fraud networks. The bill also proposes life imprisonment for individuals running online scam centers or engaged in digital currency fraud. If passed, it would represent one of the toughest legal approaches towards crypto related scams anywhere in the Southeast Asia. The scam becomes a regional crisis. The proposed crackdown follows years of growing concerns around organized compounds operating across Myanmar. I thought Myanmar was locked when it comes to internet and all that stuff because of their military. Never knew they had centers. I guess they do. Borders regions after the 2021 military coup. And also, don't they have a militia that operates a large part of the country as well? How are they going to regulate that? They can't even defeat their own opposition. Well, the armed opposition. According to the international reports, many facilities allegedly relied on trafficking, forced labor, violence, and intimidation to operate large scale online fraud schemes targeting victims globally. The United Nations previously estimated that roughly 120,000 people could be trapped inside scam compounds in Myanmar, with tens of thousands more potentially operating in similar facilities across the neighboring countries. Many of these operators involved into heavy fortified fraud centers equipped with armed guards, and advanced communications infrastructure, allowing cyber criminals groups to run large scale scams um, tied to crypto. Romance fraud, romance, that's a new word, and financial deception. Basically, the financial deception. I mean, it was always there. I've never knew Southeast Asia was part of it. But usually those who pretend to be from other, let's say, from the U.S. government or from a wireless network, and they just want to get your information and payment. They existed. What is new is the crypto, and also the romance fraud. I've never heard of romance fraud. Southeast Asia is tightening enforcement, which is good. Myanmar proposed legislation comes as several countries across the region intensify efforts against online fraud and crypto-enabled crimes. Cambodia recently introduced a tougher anti-fraud laws carrying prison sentences of up to 10 years, while Singapore announced a new cyber command until unit focused on scam investigation cyber uh, intelligence. That's a lot of computers. China also increased enforcement aggressively early this year. A multi-member of the criminal network connected Myanmar-based scam operators reportedly received death penalty sentences after being convicted of running large-scale fraud organization targeting millions of dollars in victim losses. The pressure on the scam network is growing. The broader crackdown reflects growing for infrastructure across governments as online fraud losses continue to explode globally. FBI data shows American victims alone lost more than $20 billion online scam last year. That's a lot of money, with crypto related fraud becoming one of the fastest growing category. Whether Myanmar government fully enforces the proposed legislation remains unseen, especially given past accusations that authorities failed to adequately address the scam operations within the region. Still, the overall direction is becoming increasingly clear. Tolerance for large-scale crypto scam networks across Southeast Asia is rapidly disappearing, which is good. Which is good. Good work, Myanmar. But it still depends whether they still control the entire country or not. If they don't control, then none of those would help. I mean, they will go to a rebel area and build there. Um, Here's a BlackRock warns AI complex is turning into micro into macro for markets. No idea what that means. Let's see what they're talking about. BlackRock Institute. Institute sounds great. Warn investors that company level AI complex now drives the entire macro market backdrop. Obviously, the reason why the markets are not dropping is because the AI hype. You know, Nvidia, all the other ones, everything is like 200 to 300% up, and they're the ones that are holding, and it's gonna hold until SpaceX and whatever else is going to go IPO this year. I guess few months or whatever, whenever they go in IPO, and then you're gonna see the entire market crush. The note from strategist Gene Bovin and Wei Li. lands as big tech capital spending tracks roughly $725 billion this year. The figure is up about 10% from estimates made before the first quarter earnings. So they did well, to say the least. They did well. All right, let's go back. BlackRock, we read that the firm believes the AI could be the first innovation in 150 years is strong enough to lift U.S. growth, U.S. growth about 2%. It stresses that the outcomes remain uncertain. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. An AI investment. Okay, so we basically read that, and inflation and the Strait of Hormuz raises strikes. Strictly pressure were already elevated before the Strait of Hormuz closure added the fresh energy risk. BlackRock now sees about three rate hikes, which is new. A lot of people thought we're done with the rate hikes. No, we're going back to the rate hikes. Price into Europe. Oh, with the U.S. on hold. So Europe is going rate hikes. U.S. is still undecided, but we may see at least one or two rate hikes. The firm says overweight U.S. and emerging market equities. It cautions that long-term treasuries no longer offer the portfolio blast they once did. High yields paired with the sticky inflation could begin the pressure valuations of disruption persisted. So what makes it crazy is the inflation wasn't going down. It stayed there. It stayed up longer than expected. And also the war in Iran started and Strait of Hormuz started to close and now even fuel is expensive to buy. So adding all of that, I think we may be heading to rate hikes. The idea of on hold will not last that long. Things will get out of control. They have to, things need to break. Capital that once flowed into the risk assets is being diverted into AI complex energy security, raising competition for funding. BlackRock argues that the what is it? Genuine diversification. I don't even know how to say that word. That requires private markets and hedge funds rather than traditional cross asset spreads, raising leverage, weaker traditional hedges, and a few mega forces driving everything leave little room for passive positioning. So that's why billionaires are not buying anything right now. Warren Buffett is on cash, I believe, and it's because he sees where things are going. You know, Bitcoin 79. So we will see. That is the second article we'll cover. We're gonna cover a few more, and then we'll get out of here. President Trump discloses Coinbase, Robinhood, and Bitcoin mining stock trades. Let's see. I guess the guy might tell us what he's trading. New ethics findings show that President Donald Trump crypto connections extend beyond friendly policies. A meme coin and a DeFi business to trading crypto related equities as well. President is listed as the filer on two separate 278T filings dated on Thursday that were filed with the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, reporting securities purchases or sales in excess of $1,000 made on behalf of the filter or their spouse or dependents. According to the filing, the president was assessed and paid a late fee for more than 100 pages reported, which detail about 3,000 security trades. Although specific trade amounts are not indicated, the ranges highlighted show that trade ranges from $1,000 to 15,000 to those between 1 million to $5 million. While the largest trade involved America's biggest public traded firm like Nvidia and Amazon, further downstream are reported purchases of crypto related equities like trade leading crypto exchange Coinbase, uh its coin like the coin, and crypto traditional brokerage platform Robinhood, the Hood coin. The biggest reported trade with the crypto connection as February 10th purchases of shares of coin in the range of 100,000 to 500,000. About a month later, another coin purchase was registered and slightly lower range between 50,000 to 100,000. A Robinhood shares on March 17th was the only other crypto related equity to exceed amount of 100,000. Other trades like buys and sells of Bitcoin miners, Mara Holdings, and CleanSpark CLSK are also reported on the 278T, but the values are much smaller, between 15,000 to 50,000. While President Donald Trump and his family have drawn scrutiny for their crypto ties, which reportedly led more than $1 billion in crypto profits by October 2025. A spokesperson for the Trump organization said neither the president nor his family has any say in the trades reported on the ethics filings. President Donald Trump investment holdings are maintained exclusively through fully discretionary accounts independently managed by third-party financial institutions with sole and exclusive authority over all investment decisions. Spokesperson for the Trump organization told Decrypt. Neither President Donald Trump and his family nor Trump's organization plays any role in selecting, directing, or approving any specific investments, they added. Language related to limiting the president's personal crypto venture had been critical tension points as it relates to the pages of Clarity Act, a major crypto piece of legislation, but the bill passes Senate Banking Committee on Thursday despite no firm deal with uh, deal on ethics language. All right, that's that. I mean, they kind of distancing him from any fraud. Because we know he wrecked a lot of people. A lot of people lost money because of what he was trading. Um, he's a powerful man, and markets are moving based on his words and how he's acting. And we cannot just say, hey, he got nothing to do. He's got everything to do. He's the biggest winner. If everybody is getting in and out of trades because of what he is doing, that is a bigger problem. So I think he's got everything to do, and I think distancing him, maybe nobody can say anything while he's in power, but when he is out of power, I think those would just come out and people will start to investigate all the organizations that he's talking about. but we will see. The third one is SpaceX, which is going IPO on June 11th. Okay, this is what a lot of people are saying. The reason why the markets are staying up is because of a lot of these companies. I think it's SpaceX and another one. I don't remember the other one. Right after the IPO, everything could just go down. Who knows? Elon Musk SpaceX is preparing to launch what could be the largest initial public offering ever recorded. That is one of the reasons. Nvidia need to be doing good until then. AI stocks need to be up until then. With the rocket and satellite company expected to price the deal as early as June 11th and list as on Nasdaq exchanges, sources familiar with the matter told Reuters, whatever it is, on Friday. According to the news organization, citing three people with knowledge of the decisions, SpaceX has moved up to the IPO schedule and now plans to make its prospectors public as soon as next Wednesday. The company is targeting the start of its investors roadshow on June 4th and could could begin trading as early as June 12th. So basically preparing everything. The revised timeline is weeks ahead of the company's earlier target on late June. That's when they were planning first, which had been closely aligned with Elon Musk's birthday. The sources said quicker than as anticipated review process by the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission helped um, accelerate. Man, this adds the timeline. Accelerate the timetable. People audit. Reuters reports first report in March that SpaceX was favoring Nasdaq for the listings, partly because the exchange could allow the company to secure fast inclusion into the Nasdaq 100 index. SpaceX submitted its S/1 filing to this SEC in April and is seeking to raise roughly $75 billion at a valuation of about $1.73 trillion at that size. The IPO could worth Saudi Aramco's $29 billion 2029 flotation and become the largest stock market uh, ever. The scale of the offering is already full in debate across Wall Street about how much a large deal could reshape capital flows across equities and digital markets. The problem with this is he's launching this um, in a midterm year, which thinks correct, markets correct. So space, I mean, we're gonna see. We're just gonna wait a few months and see where it goes. But $1.7 trillion, that's gonna be huge. I don't know. I won't be buying it, but good luck if you're part of space if you're watching SpaceX. Cryptocurrency market may also feel the impact because they increasingly trade as part of the same uh speculative capital ecosystem that supports high growth technology and AI stocks. Over the past two market cycles, Bitcoin, which is currently trading 79,000, Ether, and other major cryptocurrencies have shown racing correlation with the Nasdaq and SP 500. Analysts say money redirected into the major IPO allocation could reduce inflows into the volatile assets such as crypto. So all that money is basically going, and this could be the reason why they are hyping things like Bitcoin going all the way to $84,000, is because they need all that gains to, take, buy some SpaceX shares and keep the market hyped until SpaceX is getting close. But by June, latest by June, we should see a big correction, in my opinion. SpaceX also directs its Bitcoin exposure to public markets. The company holds 8,285 Bitcoin, valued at around 656 million in Coinbase Prime custody, that would make the listing the first IPO of the company with significant Bitcoin treasury disclosed on the fair value accounting. This could be a reason why they want all that money, is because it could be saying, hey, we're not just IPOing what we have, the satellites and all the other things that come with it. They could be saying, you are also buying a share of a company that holds Bitcoin in its balance sheet, over 8,000 Bitcoin on its balance sheet. So that could be lucrative for a lot of traders, you know? But that money is is going into SpaceX, which means a lot of people will not buy cryptos. So be careful. They basically saying, hey, we have stable companies that you can invest um, that are not crypto. And the company, just like Sailor is always like, I'm buying Bitcoin and our shares is going up. He could be saying the same thing. He could be saying the money that we get from SpaceX is going directly into buying Bitcoin to increase, you know, its holdings. All right. A recent post by Binance Research based on uh, chain analysis graph shows that around three quarters of 100 billion worth of illicit crypto funds still exist on the blockchain. While the SAM represents about 1% of crypto transactions, the net amount of dirty funds stored in the ecosystem continues to climb sharply, currently about 28% from last year. So all the money, all this stolen crypto, are still on the blockchain. Basically, that's what he's saying. And if they keep that, and the bull market starts and Bitcoin goes above somewhere 150 to $100,000, then that money will not be 75 million. 75 billion, is it billion with a B? Yeah, it will be hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars. Based on the graph, the statistics for legitimate crypto stock at the on-chain level have increased sharply over the last decades. 2017, 2021, and 2025 remain major reflection points in the data. Coincidentally, the spike of historic bull markets shows that legal crypto activities has historically a history of accelerating during the ongoing price surges and generally cooling off the after in the aftermath. 2025, okay, so 2017, 2021, 20, those were the top of the markets, bull market years. 25 alone witnessed anywhere between $75 billion and $85 billion accumulative black black crypto. in 2026 calendar year. This is likely to end more subdued and than the preceding year, but a high low is expected. Major DeFi exploits like Kelp DAO, I didn't know that. Draft, I heard about Draft Protocol and Resolve already up in update 8. I need whatever that is, the first whatever. So those are increasing their holdings of dirty crypto, whatever they're calling it. That's another thing. This may lead to the market makers just keeping the price low and seeing what these people do with the money. Okay, do we have anything else new? Let's see this structure bill. I do not like anything with X, so I'm just not gonna read anything that takes me to Twitter. Anybody can go to Twitter. I like the websites better. Crypto market structure bill still faces significant hurdles despite Senate committee win. Analysts say, let's see what the analysts are talking about here. The digital asset industry largely uploaded the Senate Banking Committee advancing the Clarity Act, but the job of passing the legislation into law is still far from done. Ooh, I thought it was passed. Some analysis. It's like the committee passed it, but still legislation has to go through the legislation. We are slightly more optimistic in that this package could become low after the markup, as it's clear there are Democrats who are looking for a way to block the bill. Obviously, and what will make it even harder is if midterm comes and the Democrats sweep both, you know, then it would be hard to pass it because Democrats will not pass it. So any returns this year, any investments that you do this year, you would have to be very careful, especially when something like Bitcoin rallies above 20%. Just hold it and don't buy any. Simple as that. The year is a bear year. Secondly, is a midterm year. Thirdly, nobody knows who's going to win. And we have a Republican president, which means if Democrats win, nothing is going to happen. Right? All of those uncertainties. Oh, to add that, the Strait of Hormuz issue, the spike of the right prices everywhere, or whatever it's called. You understand what I mean, right? And the possibility of a rate hikes. When you add all of those, it's best to stay on the side. Maybe if you bought when it was 60, let's say it goes to 40, you're only down 20% if you had $20,000 if you had an entire Bitcoin. If you did not, you're still gonna be about 50%, 20 to 50% down, which you can still add if you are not trading. If you're trading, just please keep your money, stay out of the market. Simple as that. Let's see. Anything else? So that's Clarity Act. Still not clear where it's gonna go. So I hope you're safe. And like I said, all the money that would go into crypto is gonna go to the IPOs that's coming up. The biggest one is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is throwing an IPO in there. which means all his friends and all the crypto gurus and all the tech people and all the AI people are going to support him, right? Because the company is a well-known company. It is successful company. Um, right? It's providing. If we say, even if we could say it's providing internet because it's the one that's sending the satellites. That's connecting the world. That also is really important for Tesla, right? Which is not related, but if SpaceX does really well, Tesla is going to do really good as well. So when you look at that and you're like, okay, this guy is looking this much money, the company is going to be evaluated around 1.7 billion, not billion, $1 trillion. That is a lot of money within the next 2 months because it's happening in June 11th. So, are you willing to risk buying Bitcoin, which they already, hyped it a little bit to 75%? I mean, not 75, so sorry. I think it's 20 to 30% up from the low of 60. And they have all the money, all the profits that they can pull that, invest into SpaceX, unless they decide that they're taking the profits again from SpaceX once it launched somewhere in end of June, or it could be even the June 12th when everybody else is buying, they selling. And then we could see that we could see Bitcoin coming back. I mean, that money coming back to Bitcoin. Um, but we should not downplay anything at all. Anything that means anything. Let's see what Reddit is talking. What is Reddit, anyways? Is Reddit even something? It looks like Twitter. Okay, so this is Binance. Bitcoin holdings above 75,000 for this long is starting to make me feel like people are waiting for 50K. Might never get that entry. I've been buying gradually on. So basically, what is this person saying? Pull back in January stock, small portion, around 9%, still steady. Who is this person? Yeah, so you can see some people are saying, "Hey, we are still above 75,000 and we all good." I don't trust the markets though. Okay, this doesn't matter. It's not kind of important news. Okay, no idea what else we got. I didn't knew the, oh, outside of crypto, other markets were also affected, I think. Man, this is horrible. Didn't know the markets lost that much. It looks like $900 billion, almost $1 trillion, wiped out of the markets. I did not knew that. Let me see. Let me see what how is my, if that happens, that's really bad. Yeah, bad business. So markets are closed. I only have strategy which is down 5%. From the bottom I got it. I don't really have that much of it, but it's possible. Yeah, that would be it. That's all I got. That's all I got. No any other news. It's boring day, I guess, because of everything that crashed. This is only crash. Nobody's talking about anything other than crash right now. Let's see what coin market is doing. What time is it? We gotta go run soon, so All right, all right. So, man, some crypto are down like 8%. 9. Sui kind of went like $1.20 something, and now it came back to almost a dollar. It's gonna go down. It's just gonna go down. Like I said last time, I don't know why people are hyping Sui. I don't understand. What is the benefit of Sui? Okay, guys, my setup is really terrible today. So hope you guys are there. I'm just gonna So here a little bit and saying hi to every one of you guys. I completely forgot to, you know, visit the arena sometimes. But we're gonna do that today. We're gonna do that. Let me end my YouTube live and then we just gonna chill in the arena.